Money talks, but sometimes it screams so loud it starts arguments nobody saw coming. Sophie Rain, a 20-year-old OnlyFans creator, just revealed she earned $43 million in 1 year, more than most NBA superstars, and apparently thought that entitled her to some trash talk. She was about to learn why you don't poke bears, especially ones named Ja Morant. This isn't your typical celebrity feud over movie roles or music charts. This is about something deeper, what we value as a society, who deserves massive paychecks, and whether financial success automatically grants you the right to disrespect people who've dedicated their lives to athletic excellence. Sophie Rain made headlines when she casually dropped her earnings figure during a podcast appearance, specifically comparing her income to NBA players. "I make more than most of these basketball players y'all worship," she said, with the confidence of someone who's never had to work for anything beyond creating content in her bedroom. That comment reached Ja Morant, who's dealt with plenty of criticism about his own earnings and lifestyle choices. But this was different. This wasn't about his game performance or off-court controversies. This was about someone with zero athletic achievements trying to diminish what he and his peers have accomplished. When Stephen A. Smith highlighted that OnlyFans creators collectively earned $6.6 billion in 2023, surpassing the NBA's total player salaries of $4.9 billion, it sparked a conversation about modern economics that nobody wanted to have. But the numbers don't lie, and neither do the implications. What followed was a response from Morant that perfectly captured the frustration of athletes who train their entire lives to reach elite levels, only to be mocked by people who've monetized entirely different skill sets. This story isn't just about money, it's about respect, achievement, and what actually matters when the cameras stop rolling. Sophie Rain's controversial claims. Sophie Rain burst onto the social media scene like most overnight sensations do, with controversy, confidence, and numbers that make people's jaws drop. At just 20 years old, she's managed to build an OnlyFans empire that generates more revenue than most Fortune 500 companies, and she's not shy about letting everyone know. Her rise to financial prominence happened with startling speed. Starting her OnlyFans account in late 2022, Rain quickly discovered she had a knack for content creation and audience engagement that translated directly into massive earnings. By early 2024, she was pulling in over $3 million per month, putting her annual earnings well into eight-figure territory. The turning point came during her appearance on the No Filter podcast, where host Jake Paul asked about her income compared to traditional celebrities. That's when Rain decided to make the comparison that would ignite this entire controversy. "I make more than most of these basketball players y'all worship," she said, leaning back in her chair with the casual arrogance of someone who's never faced real adversity. "Like Ja Morant makes what, $30 million a year? I made $43 million last year alone." The host pressed her on whether she thought that was fair, and Rain doubled down. "Fair? Life ain't fair. I found a way to monetize what I got, just like they did. Difference is I don't need a team or coaches or training camps. I don't risk getting injured every night. I work smarter, not harder." But the comments that really crossed the line came when she started talking about athletic achievement. "These NBA players act like they're gods because they can dribble a ball. Meanwhile, I'm making more money than them sitting in my bedroom. Who's really winning here? Do you think earning more money automatically makes someone more successful than professional athletes who've dedicated their lives to their craft?" The podcast clip went viral immediately, racking up millions of views across TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Comments ranged from support for Rain's entrepreneurial success to outrage at her dismissive attitude toward professional athletes. Stephen A. Smith caught wind of the controversy and couldn't resist weighing in during his ESPN show. "Sophie Rain made more money on OnlyFans than many of the NBA's biggest stars. That's not an opinion, that's mathematics. And it says something about where we are as a society." Rain seemed to relish the attention, posting Instagram stories that showed her luxury lifestyle while tagging various NBA players, including Ja Morant. She had no idea she was about to poke the wrong person. The numbers that started a war. The financial comparison that Sophie Rain made wasn't just provocative, it was surprisingly accurate, which made it even more inflammatory. When you break down the numbers, her claims about out-earning NBA stars weren't the fantasy they seemed to be at first glance. Sophie Rain's reported $43 million annual income puts her ahead of most NBA players, including established stars. For context, the NBA's salary cap structure means that even all-stars often earn between $25–35 million annually. Players like Jason Tatum, despite being one of the league's best, make around $32 million per year in salary, less than Rain's claimed earnings. But here's where the story gets even more complex. Stephen A. Smith's research team discovered that OnlyFans creators collectively earned $6.6 billion in 2023, while total NBA player salaries were $4.9 billion. This means the adult content platform's creators as a group out-earned every professional basketball player in America combined. Rain's success represents the extreme end of OnlyFans' earning potential. Most creators make significantly less, but the top 1% earn figures that would make traditional celebrities jealous. Rain reportedly charges $30 per month for subscriptions, plus additional fees for custom content, live interactions, and premium access. Her business model is surprisingly sophisticated. She employs a team of managers, content creators, and social media specialists. She's essentially running a personal brand empire that happens to be built on adult content. The monthly recurring revenue model provides stability that many traditional entertainers don't have. Does it matter how someone earns their money? Or should we respect any legal path to financial success equally? NBA players, by contrast, earn their money through a combination of salary, endorsements, and bonuses tied directly to performance. Their careers are also significantly shorter. Most retire by their mid-30s, while content creators can potentially work much longer. The economic disparity highlighted a broader cultural shift. Traditional entertainment industries are being disrupted by platforms that allow individuals to monetize their personal brand directly. Rain's success represents this new economy where audience engagement translates immediately to revenue. What made Rain's comments particularly stinging was the timing. Many NBA players have been vocal about feeling undervalued despite their massive salaries, especially compared to the billions their leagues generate. To have someone from an entirely different industry claim superiority based purely on earnings struck a nerve. The comparison also raised uncomfortable questions about societal values. Why does adult content generate more revenue than elite athletic performance? What does this say about what we prioritize as consumers? These questions were about to get personal when Ja Morant decided he'd heard enough. Ja Morant's devastating response. Ja Morant didn't take long to respond to Sophie Rain's provocations, and when he did, it was with the precision of one of his signature dunks, direct, powerful, and impossible to ignore. The Memphis Grizzlies star chose Twitter as his platform, posting a thread that immediately went viral and changed the entire tone of the conversation. His response wasn't angry or defensive. It was calculating and devastating. "Saw someone bragging about making more money than NBA players," Morant began. "That's cool. Money don't make you better than anybody, though. We work every day to inspire kids, represent our cities, bring communities together. What exactly are you inspiring?" The second tweet hit even harder. "I can lose every dollar I ever made and still have a skill set that took 20 years to develop. Skills that millions of kids dream about having. Can you say the same about your talents?" But the knockout punch came in his final tweet. "When I retire, kids will still be wearing my jersey, trying to play like me, learning discipline and dedication from my example. What legacy are you building? What are you teaching the next generation?" Do you think Morant's response was appropriate, or did he cross a line by questioning someone else's career choices? The response was immediate and overwhelming. NBA players rallied around Morant's message, with LeBron James retweeting with fire emojis and Kevin Durant simply posting facts. Even players from other sports chimed in, with NFL and MLB stars sharing similar sentiments about the value of athletic achievement beyond monetary compensation. Rain initially tried to fire back, posting Instagram stories that claimed Morant was jealous and pressed about a woman making more money than him. But her responses felt defensive and missed the point Morant was making about legacy and impact. The most telling moment came when several current NBA players shared stories about community work, youth programs, and charitable foundations they've built. The contrast between documented community impact and personal financial gain became stark. Morant's response resonated because it addressed something deeper than money. It was about purpose, legacy, and what success actually means when you strip away the dollar signs. The cultural battle lines. The Morant-Rain controversy quickly evolved beyond a personal spat into a full-scale cultural debate that exposed deep divisions about value, success, and what society should celebrate. On one side stood traditional achievement advocates who rallied around Morant's message. This camp argued that athletic excellence, with its requirements for discipline, teamwork, and years of dedicated training, represents values worth celebrating regardless of financial compensation. They pointed to the inspirational impact of sports figures and their role in community building. The opposing viewpoint supported Rain's entrepreneurial success and questioned why society places athletes on pedestals. This group argued that she'd identified a market demand and fulfilled it more efficiently than traditional entertainers. They celebrated her business acumen and financial independence, arguing that success should be measured by results, not methods. Social media became a battlefield where these philosophies clashed daily, and Team Ja and Team Sophie hashtags trended for weeks, with each side sharing examples that supported their perspective. Athletes shared stories of community impact and youth inspiration, while content creators highlighted their business achievements and financial freedom. Which do you value more, traditional achievements that inspire others, or innovative success that challenges conventional career paths? The generational divide was stark. Older users generally supported Morant's emphasis on legacy and traditional accomplishment. Younger users were more likely to celebrate Rain's financial success and question why athletic achievement should be valued differently than other forms of entertainment. The debate attracted attention from economists, sociologists, and cultural commentators. Harvard Business School professor Dr. Sarah Chen wrote an op-ed arguing that both perspectives had merit. Rain represents the democratization of fame and fortune, while Morant represents the value of elite skill development. Both have roles in modern society. Media coverage reflected this division. ESPN and traditional sports outlets generally framed the story as Rain being disrespectful to hard-working athletes. Newer media platforms and business publications focused on Rain's entrepreneurial success and the changing economics of entertainment. The controversy also sparked discussions about gender, with some arguing that Rain faced criticism, partly because she was a young woman succeeding in a male-dominated earnings conversation. Others countered that the criticism was about respect for athletic achievement, not gender. These battle lines would define how the story was interpreted by different audiences. The lasting impact on sports culture. The Morant-Rain controversy has left lasting impacts on how we discuss athlete compensation, social media influence, and the intersection of sports with modern digital economy realities. Professional athletes across all sports began addressing earning comparisons more directly. Many started highlighting their community work, charitable foundations, and youth mentorship programs, emphasizing the non-monetary value they provide to society. The conversation forced athletes to articulate their worth beyond salary figures. The controversy also changed how OnlyFans creators discuss their success. Many began emphasizing the business skills required for their success, rather than simply celebrating earnings figures. Some partnered with financial literacy organizations and business schools to legitimize their entrepreneurial achievements. Sports organizations took notice and adjusted their messaging. The NBA increased promotion of player community involvement and social impact initiatives. Team social media accounts began featuring more content about players' off-court contributions and charitable work. Do you think this controversy will change how we evaluate success in sports versus other industries, or will the focus return to traditional metrics? Media coverage of athlete earnings became more nuanced. Sports journalists began contextualizing salaries within broader economic discussions and comparing athletic careers to other high-earning professions with different longevity and skill requirements. The incident also influenced how social media platforms handle controversial content. Both Twitter and Instagram implemented new guidelines about harassment and respect in financial discussions, though enforcement remains inconsistent. Educational institutions incorporated the controversy into business and sociology curricula. Several universities created case studies examining the economic disruption of traditional entertainment industries and the cultural tensions that result. Perhaps most significantly, the controversy accelerated conversations about athlete post-career planning and financial literacy. Organizations began developing programs to help athletes build lasting legacies beyond their playing careers. The debate highlighted fundamental questions about how society values different types of achievement and success. While no consensus emerged, the conversation forced both sides to articulate their positions more clearly and consider alternative perspectives. 6 months later, both Morant and Rain had moved on to other projects, but their exchange continues to be referenced in discussions about modern celebrity, earning power, and what constitutes meaningful achievement in the digital age. This clash between Ja Morant and Sophie Rain ultimately revealed more about our society than either individual involved. It forced us to confront uncomfortable questions about what we value and how we measure success in an era where traditional achievement competes with digital entrepreneurship. Rain's financial success is undeniable and represents real business acumen in identifying and serving market demand. Her earnings reflect consumer choice and market efficiency, principles we typically celebrate in capitalism. Morant's response highlighted something equally important: the intangible value of excellence, inspiration, and legacy that can't be measured in dollar signs alone. His emphasis on community impact and youth inspiration resonated because it addressed meaning beyond monetary gain. The truth is, both perspectives have merit. We need entrepreneurs who challenge traditional systems, and we need role models who inspire excellence and community engagement. The real lesson isn't choosing sides, it's recognizing that different types of success can coexist without diminishing each other.